According to the 2023 Global Organized Crime Index, South Africa is the seventh most criminal country in the world. The report cited incidences of organized crime, cash in transit, arms trade, human and drug trafficking, and human trafficking. Meanwhile, in another damning report by Tax Justice South Africa, a new report exposes South Africa as a global hotspot for organized crime. On the Global Organized Crime Index 2023, South Africa ranks third in Africa for criminality, only after the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Nigeria. According to a research by the Global Initiative Against a Transnational Organized Crime, a Geneva-based NGO, the country is an undeniable criminality outlier within Southern Africa, and of course, tangibly raised the average criminality score for the region. And of course, to discuss this, we are joined by Williem Ellis, the Senior Training Coordinator, Institute for Security Studies. Thank you so much for your time, Williem.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. This report is actually, for want of words, pretty shocking. Now, what factors would you say contribute to South Africa's ranking of 7th on the 2023 Global Organized Crime Index, and any specific types of organized crimes that are prevalent in South Africa according to the index?
Yes, South Africa in the 2021 survey, the South Africa ranked number 17 in the world, and now it came up, or 19 in the world, sorry, and it came down to number 7 in the world. And when you look at the crime index, it is measured, it's 193 countries that are being measured, and there you want to be as low as possible to be looking good. So high up in this index as South Africa is, as the DRC, as well as Nigeria, and the number 4 in the row is Kenya. That is very, very worrying for us because those are your commercial hubs of the different regions that are being targeted. So what we see in terms of the indicators that they looked at 15 different criminal markets and 5 actor types, criminal actor types that they looked at. And some of those are, you look at your drug traffickings, your different drugs from cannabis to heroin to synthetics, as well as to cocaine smuggling. But what we saw that came up on top of the index as the most pervasive crime is your financial crimes. And that runs across especially your commercial hubs, where that is really very high. For the first time also, they looked at extortion and protection racketeering, and that is your kidnapping for ransom that you mentioned in your report. That is also rising very steeply, especially in South Africa.
Now, this is pretty much, I call it quite revealing. But what would you say are the primary motives or motivations behind organized crime in South Africa, and how do they compare to other countries, particularly within this particular index?
Well, if you look at the countries comparing in the SADC region, South Africa there is once again number 1 in the region, where it comes in at number 3 in the index. But if you look at the neighboring country, Botswana, they come in at number 46 out of 54 countries. So that is basically a tale of two worlds. And there's only a small little border that actually separates the two countries. And that points to South Africa as being a hub. Of course, South Africa is a financial hub of the region, and sometimes they say of Africa. And your challenge with that is because you have these excellent financial services and all the commodities here, and it becomes a target for these criminal networks to infiltrate. Your challenge with that is that your financial crimes being the highest, your challenge is that whenever organized crime syndicates move into organized crime and then perpetrate these crimes, it's always the main target is to gain money, to get a lot of money, and to get it very fast.
Now, just a follow-up to that, what impact do you suggest this will have within South Africa and also outwardly too, in terms of the international system? How do you feel the international community will view South Africa, particularly within the business space right now, due to this ranking?
Of course, it really impedes on the trust in South Africa in terms of foreign investment. You will not want to invest in a country where your risks are very high because of the rampant financial crime syndicates that are siphoning off a lot of money. There is a lot of scams running around on the financial markets. So that is a challenge for South Africa, not only for South Africa, for the region. It will affect your foreign investment. But one thing that is very important that we should not forget is South Africa has recently been grey-listed by the FATF organization, and in terms of our reluctance or our inability to curb money laundering and terror funding. And that goes hand in hand with the index, because we see that money laundering and your terror funding goes hand in hand with your financial crimes. So that is a challenge, and one of the things that South Africa needs to demonstrate to exit the grey list is the political will, but also the capacity to positively act against these actors, to bring them to book and to successfully prosecute them. And that is where South Africa is suffering at the moment.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Williem.
You're welcome.